Good morning and welcome to day 19 of our Bible Books Challenge. Today we reach the end of our Old Testament books as we find out which books the last two pictures represent. Wow, it's very exciting today. What an achievement. If you've managed to stay with me through the previous 18 days and have reached day 19, well, that's a fantastic achievement. Well done. I hope that as we move into the New Testament next, with our first two pictures shortly, that you stay with me and continue to learn and find out a little bit more about the books in the Bible. Well, picture number 38, you know already what we're doing. We're going to be moving to picture 38, and you know that we're working out from the pictures which book of the Old Testament in particular the picture represents and finding out a little bit more about it. I guess you may well, if you've kept a list of all the books that you've done, you may well already know what the last two books are. They're the two remaining from your contents list. But if you haven't, then let's see if we can work out picture number 38 first. We have a mallet with an eye, haven't we? The mallet eye in our picture is trying to smash two stone hearts. And this reminds us of the prophet's name. And the prophet is Malachi. And in fact, it's the very last book of the Old Testament. And, well, the people had cold hearts of stone towards God at this time, at Malachi's time. He is one of the minor prophets. And he prophesied at about the same time as Nehemiah, who we saw yesterday. And they both encountered people who were cold-hearted towards God. However, Malachi, the very last book of the Old Testament, ends with a victorious promise for all those who are listening to him. So the stage is set for the good news, which we find in the New Testament, where we read of the birth, the life, the death, and the resurrection of the Lord Jesus. So that's Malachi for you. There is one book left, and that's picture number 39. What do we have? Well, we have a duet running on me. A duet running on me. Our final book of the Old Testament of the Bible Books Challenge is Deuteronomy. It's the fifth book of the Old Testament, and it's the last of the law books, the Torah. Many years have passed since Moses was originally given the Ten Commandments. He was given them at Mount Sinai. It's now time for the next generation to be taught. A lot has happened between Mount Sinai, and that's the book of Exodus, and up to now Deuteronomy, the fifth book, and we've gone through Leviticus and Numbers. The two tablets in the background, well, they represent the generation that has passed. The second two tablets are the new generation. And the new generation are singing and running. Now we call this the second law, or to be exact, the second giving of the law. This book records Moses' last three sermons. They are big talks to the people, instructing them and teaching them. One of those is looking back. One is appreciating today. And the third is looking forwards. So there we are. All the Old Testament books have now been done. And I hope you've really enjoyed the Bible Books Challenge so far. Have you learnt loads? Now, can you list all the books of the Old Testament? Can you put them in the correct order? Maybe you've collected a list as you've been going along and listed them. Can you now rearrange that list and put them in their right order? Can you group together the law books? There are 5 of those. The history books, the wisdom writings, and the books of the prophets. That would be quite a good exercise to do. So we're now moving into the New Testament, a fresh challenge. There are 27 books in the New Testament to go with the 39 in the Old Testament. So there's 66 books in total. And here are your first two pictures. We carry on the same principle, the same idea that we've done before, but now obviously in the New Testament. Here's your first picture, and here's your second picture. So this is 1 and 2 in the New Testament, 40 and 41 in the context of all the books of the Bible. as I've just said. We are carrying on the same principles. Say what you see, work out which book it represents, maybe get the contents page for the New Testament. There's fewer books to look through. And if there are sounding names that you can be able to identify from the contents page as well. So have fun. Again, I would encourage you, email me now that we've got to the end of the Old Testament. Maybe let me know which was your favourite of the pictures, and also which is actually your favourite Old Testament book. I hope that you've really gained a passion for the Old Testament. It is a wonderful, wonderful book. The whole of the Old Testament is just brilliant, and I hope that's grown a passion in you for finding out more about the things that God has written in the Old Testament that can actually help and really increase our knowledge of the things in the New Testament. Stay safe, have fun, and God bless. I shall see you tomorrow.